User joined your channel.
Okay. So I've made another decision on...
Closing the outfit? I'm kidding.
Yes, of course.
Standing everyone.
No, on how to
See ya.
run the platoon. I think we're gonna have... Basically, we're gonna keep it as, you know, open, casual. And then if it gets to be more than like 20 people or so in the channel, we'll split it up into groups. But we need to make sure we have officers on when we do that. Basically, I'm not trying to make it too strict like I wanted to before. Just because I had to talk with a bunch of the members and they feel like they have a better time when they're not sitting in a channel with 3 or 4 people that don't want to talk because they're sitting there with one other like officer who's receiving all the messages and they just tell them what to do and then they just sit there and they don't talk. It's not as good of an experience. That's not why they joined NNG in the first place. Then that's not the experience that they're getting that they had when they signed up. So we'll keep it at, if there's like 24 people in the channel, you know, up to 24, that's okay. If it starts to get to be like 36 or more, try and split
Two
it
squad
up.
comms.
Yeah, use squad comms in game.
No,
User
two
joined your
two
channel.
squad comms basically. Two squads worth of people per channel. How the goons run. That's 24.
Yeah, 24 is 2 squads, and then if there's like anywhere between, if there's, yeah, I don't want like to have 1/3 squad be empty though. So I'm saying
No, but
is
like yeah, as you move, as it gets cluttered. So like, you know, when you have a full platoon, you'll separate out. Or you know, if
Yeah.
you've got 30 guys, your air guys might go to a channel just to clear comms a little bit.
No, absolutely, yeah, and if, you know, I think that we're gonna have to I'm gonna set up the TeamSpeak again, be a little bit different. But other than that, that's basically my decision on how we're gonna structure the TeamSpeak for right now. I think it's gonna work out best. If any of you have opinion on that, take it to the forums and I'll consider it there. As far as our recruitment goes, and as far as the general scheme for trying to assimilate and accumulate new members, the game update put a big damper on that because a lot of people are having performance issues. A lot of people that return to the game are, you know, like trying to check out these new things and they see the performance issues and then they don't even want to play anymore. So it's been a little bit harder, more difficult to get new recruits in, especially recently. And I was checking the PlanetSide 2 forums with their leaderboards as for our outfit. Kind of lists everybody that has been active. And that list is a little over 200 people. So out of the 500 that we have in-game, about 200 of those people are listed on the PlanetSide Universe forums. Other than that, it seems like for right now, the training that Goku's is doing is sufficient enough to get our new members kind of assimilated into the NNG grouping and workings of the game. Subdivisions are going to be something that I want to revisit. For right now, they're kind of out of commission because we've had so many different people coming in and out, and it's hard to keep a roster like that. We still don't even have like a defined. We have a defined core group of, you know, the outfit officers, but our core group of players aside from that has been changing a lot, and it's you know, a little bit more difficult to get the subdivisions working like that. So for right now, they're out of commission, but I want, like you know, Nobama said, the air guys want to kind of get some time to go into their own channel. So I'm thinking we're gonna set up like an air and armor and stuff like that. So if you guys want to start doing like repetitive armor or air squads or something like that, you know, you can do that in a different channel and it's no biggie. Aside from that, I think that's all I really want to talk about with the TeamSpeak. The tunnel systems and in-game tactics, that's gonna be a fucking mindfuck. Those tunnels add a whole
Speak
other
up, Jamal. You
dimension
just
to
got
the
really
game.
quiet.
Oh, sorry. The tunnel systems in the game are going to be a huge mindfuck. The tech plants, especially, are now extremely vulnerable to use shield breaker sundies on. The shield generator for the SCU is now right next to where the vehicle bay used to be. So you just drive 2 Sunderers in there with max suits, and you can basically get that generator down. Mr. Buzzcut Psycho has been taking a hiatus from the game, so the Enclave has not been a problem.
They never were.
Not that they never were a huge problem, but you know, it's actually really pathetic to battle the Enclave right now. They kind of get rolled each time. I don't know if you were on the other night. If you were when we were battling the Enclave without Mr. Buzzcut, it was very, very funny. They were not doing very well at all. So, that being said, we need to buckle down and really focus on how these new changes and new like base schematics are going to affect our gameplay, because the towers are not the same. Like even regular bases like TI Alloys, the points in a new spot, it's, you know, they did a lot of changes that are small but drastic, and they completely change like how the battles at certain bases are going to be fought. Another thing, I really want our inter-outfit officers, if you see any media, or I don't know if I should designate someone to be our outfit like PR guy, public relations, and start working on our wikis and our like other outfit pages and stuff.
I know
like that.
Deathwish
Someone's
is
good at
back.
that. Who is that?
Deathwish is back. That's what he used to do.
Yeah, it is, but I haven't seen him as much. I think he's still doing his thing.
Is he online right now?
I mean, I have I could assign an inter-outfit officer to be like kind of like PR, but I'll probably do that, and we'll have that be as like a PR role for an officer, and then they're basically going to be in charge of, you know, keeping, excuse me, the recruitment page up to date. Like, I know that page was made a long time ago by Deathroost, so there's a lot more stuff we could put on it, like videos and stuff, and make it look nicer. Perhaps set out to smaller outfits and, you know, just say, look, if you guys are looking to become part of something bigger, you know, we're not trying to invade you or anything like that. We're just saying that we'd be welcoming you with open arms if you wanted to join us, because acquisition of a smaller group would be awesome. Usually that works out pretty well in the long run. And then other than that, I don't know if I had too much more to say. I just really want you guys to focus on using those tunnels to defend, and focus on, when you're defending, using those tunnels, what would really suck if they did while you were defending using the tunnels, and then when you're going to attack and have to make sure that they don't use those tunnels, do that one thing that would really suck. And yeah, that's all I really wanted to say for this meeting, is that I wanted to start changing how the TeamSpeak works back to kind of how it was before, by popular demand and for convenience sake, kind of. Then we also just study base schematics, and then yeah. Anyone else have anything urgent that they wanted to add?
Wouldn't say urgent, but I noticed that you had made a post about potentially, what was it, officer roles, among other things.
Speak up a little bit, quiet.
Yeah, you got quiet there.
Officer roles, among other things. Am I too loud now, or is it fine?
No, that's perfect. The responsibilities and roles post.
Yeah, partly that. So in terms of roles, I noticed that, you know, you got well, one I most remember is the one I was assigned to, primarily being a tactician and stuff like that. So you just want me to do whatever I just do, posting a bunch of long-winded posts on the forums, basically.
Basically, what I see you doing is, I see you're really involved in understanding how air tactics work. And when I'm on the field, and when platoon leaders on the field and they're getting engaged by air, or, you know, if something is going on that you understand beyond others in the field, because I know that you have an idea beyond the other players as to how the game works and the tactics of the game. You're going to advise the platoon leader and squad leaders towards a more advisable and better approach, and that's going to save a lot of the people, you know, a lot of trouble, so that when they're leading the platoon, they don't have to worry about you're basically going to be like kind of like an in-game strategist for the platoon leader while he's trying to lead everybody.
Control A, right click. But okay, so stuff I'm posting on the forums though, like I just wanted to ask whether the other guys, some of the things I'm keeping restricted to officers, some of the things I post on strategy forums, you guys making use of that at all? Like, because it's kind of pointless if you guys don't read it or don't use it.
I read the strategy stuff all the time.
Yeah, but I say strategy is one
yeah,
of the
I
more
read it
populated
quick.
forums.
I just started a new job. Like I haven't had a lot of time lately to really sit down and respond or get any of my stuff up either.
No, I'm just basically asking because if you guys are finding what I'm posting on the forums, like occasionally, like I'll just think up a scenario and just devise ways to try to beat it. Like for example, Annihilator spam, and I am coming up with a way to take care of that as well. But I really would appreciate, I wouldn't say necessarily feedback, but at least that you guys are
Counter
find it useful.
arguments.
Not necessarily counter arguments, but also whether you find it useful for yourselves. Like it's pointless, as I said, if nobody reads it or takes into consideration.
No, definitely. I mean,
You just cut out there, Dan.
Sorry. I
User
read your
joined
stuff
your
on
channel.
strategies on the strategy
User
posts all the
left your
time.
channel.
I haven't read too much of the officer discussion. I'm not even gonna lie about that. I haven't read too much in there. I'm going to go over that later this evening, though.
Okay.
Just
Because
because.
the more sensitive I think it is, like the more that it could be a game changer, I tend to keep it more restricted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd probably follow the rule of some of like in-depth analysis
channel
of
was edited.
placements and movements and stuff. I'd keep that to the officers, but like overall broad spectrum generic things like search spending or class advice, you know, that stuff we'd make public, or just general ways
and
to
anything-
approach.
Sorry, man, interrupt you.
Oh, go ahead, I'm done.
I was saying anything that you find, like, you know, if you're just trolling around PS2 forums, anything you find that's even, you know, related to being good information for us, just copy paste it in there.
No, I do
'Cause,
that.
Yeah, it's so much easier to find it on our site, obviously, than to find it in SOEs or Googling.
Well, you guys saw what I did with up the changes till February or something like that, I think.
Yeah, I did.
Did I run that? Yeah. About how the whole game itself is heading towards more defensive style. And we're already starting to see the fruits of that labor, so like vehicles are making less of an influence already. Partly.
Just because
And-
they shoot blanks. Or they did.
Not just because of shooting blanks, but also because it's harder to now attack individual bases. You can't just bring a shit ton of vehicles.
Well, you can, but you're just gonna sit there and do nothing, and you'll eventually wind up losing your vehicle.
Yep.
Well, Annihilator spam is a huge issue with vehicles trying to push forward at the moment.
Oh,
They
believe
just
me,
get
I'm
shredded.
I'm coming up with stuff to counter Annihilator spam, but it's very situational, and that's a problem.
Well, we had an issue last night with that. I think No Bomb was there for it, but the way we did it was we dropped 2 full galaxies into, or I think it was 2. It might have been just 1 full galaxy into a whole little nest of them, and you can wind up killing them out pretty quick that way.
I was
That's
not there for that.
that's one way, but I'm thinking of more general day-to-day applications. One of the things I do want to know, and I would appreciate if you guys would help me test this at some point, is if smoke cancels a lock. And I'm talking smoke grenade. Underbarrel
test
smoke
that.
launcher.
I have that on my gun. On my
I
medic.
want that. I want to know if that will break a lock. That is, in fact, very imperative to know, because that will change tactics again.
You can
And
test that
we
tonight if
can-
you want.
Yeah,
I don't have an Annihilator, but I have the Underbarrel gun, so I can help with that test.
Yeah, we need to have another character, like a character from another faction, willing to bring in a vehicle or something like that, or someone with another launcher. So someone.
Well,
to test
if
with
that's
us.
the case, then smoke from friendly should still break the lock also.
Yeah, that's what I want to know. Like, I'm talking more in terms of ground vehicles, because people don't do this. But if the unbarrel smoke grenade launcher can break the lock, that's a major game changer, guys.
Yeah,
well,
it's
no, what I
huge.
mean is like if you know, your team is the one with the annihilators, if all of a sudden everybody smokes the annihilator shooters on your team, would that should have the same effect as breaking the lock from the friendlies too?
Not necessarily. It's
We can
not
test it both
necessarily.
ways.
Yeah, we could test it both ways. Like, you know,
I'm thinking probably not. Smoke is
Uh,
not going to break radar contact. It's
It
just
would be
gonna break
better to
visual
know.
sight.
Just test both.
But yeah,
well, smoke, as far as I understand, in terms of on the tanks, do they break lock after it's fired, or do they break lock before fire?
They break fired after the lock and before. It both prevents and
So,
breaks.
like a flares then.
Yeah.
Okay.
The question is if a nearby tank deploys its smoke between you and the lock-on, will it affect the lock-on on you like it does for aircraft?
Yeah, and if it's an enemy tank, it's not going to affect it then. If it's like flares at all. Because if an enemy does flares, it's not going to take out the
But
missile.
honestly, mag riders shouldn't even need to worry about smoking. I mean, they can play completely untouched by annihilator spam.
Yes and no. It's more than just that. It's taking out the group. Like, you know, we can play hot footsie with them and stuff like that, but if we want to take out a group of annihilators and stuff like that, we need to be able to flush them out. We need to be able to get close in quarters and stuff like that. We need to be able to get people over there. So everything that we can use to nullify their advantage, the better. If we can break their lock by smoking their position specifically, even better.
I just remembered something actually that I had a conversation with Robo CPF1 today, and they set up a alliance chat in game. The only way to access this in-game chat is you have to type. Hang on, I'll type it in the thing down here.
Is it like /voice?
You type. Oh shit! It won't let me. Hang on one second. You type /voice join VSA.
No password?
In game, you type that in, and then you have to set your key binding. You go to key binding. There's going to be a user controlled voiceover, or it's like general voiceover button, and then that is the key to use that custom channel. And when you use that key button, when you hit it, it'll say custom, like where it says platoon, outfit, or squad when you're talking. And it's really cool. So when we get in game, we'll try and set that up for you guys.
I'm in there now. I'm testing it. I don't see where you can set options though.
You go to the key binding.
Are we gonna have it to where only like other officers will talk in it unless, or won't talk in it unless Ajax, Death Threats are on? Because I can just see that thing turning into a clusterfuck.
Yeah, is this
I
like
mean-
a leader kind of chat, or is this like general?
It's
Everybody.
it's a VSA leader chat. It's basically
Okay.
Like,
Like
where
command
it's
Chat, or we can turn off leader chat.
yeah,
it's a
like
secretive
leader chat.
leader chat where you don't get the people who just say I bought the certs.
Exactly. Exactly that. And it's also supposed to be only for outfits that are in the Vanu Sovereignty Alliance.
So everybody can
Okay.
use. Cool.
I'm in this settings now. Where do I go in the settings?
Key bindings.
I'm in key bindings.
It should be general or user controlled voiceover. You gotta scroll down a little bit. I think it's normally set for numpad 6.
Yeah, user channel
Got it.
voice.
User voice channel.
chat.
Okay.
Yes, that's it.
Okay. So I hit numpad 6, and I'm gonna be talking in that leader chat.
Yes, if anyone else is on it. Now here's the thing, when you sign out, you leave that chat. So only you have to do that every time you sign in to join it.
Copy that.
So it's cool. Then you only opt into it when you want to actively do it. So you don't have to worry about people being annoyed in it. It's okay. Khalif and Ajax aren't on, so we need someone in the VS Alliance. Boom, you opt in, and then you have your fucking key binding already set. Easy.
Yep.
No one's responding on it, so I don't know if anybody's in there.
No one might be on it yet.
It's a new thing. It might take a while to get used to. It might take a while for people to actually do anything on it.
Yeah, I mean, right now, Goater and AT and Vindicators are the only ones that know about it,
And
Okay.
of course us.
No, now us.
and us. We don't know about it.
We don't know about it. I don't know anything. I know nothing.
So other than that, other big game changers, Mag Rider. Not sure what we're gonna do about that.
Enemy tanks are
Tiger
getting more
sucks.
prevalent, definitely with update 2. So we're going to see a lot more prowlers. We're going to see more vanguards. They're going to be tougher to take down. They're going to be doing a lot more damage. So we're probably going to be, unfortunately, focused more towards anti-vehicle, anti-tank. Like, I don't see really a way around it because we're going to have a combination of anti-infantry and anti-tank. I'm done.
Yeah.
Like, Liberators nowadays are not as strong because all the ground pounders started their bitching and more or less got what they wanted. The Annihilators and Anti-Air is strong enough that Liberators literally have to be in and out, and even then they might still get shot down. The amount of damage they can do to a tank column is entirely dependent upon how well a gunner can actually hit one individual tank. Or sit at max altitude and try to snipe them.
No, you just gotta come in low. You gotta know where you're hitting on your target, and then fire off one clip and get out the second the lock's finished. You gotta use stealth so you can get the blind approach, and then they have to start their lock on.
Understood, but also talking about in large engagements, like, where you have a front essentially established, so it's going to be more difficult in some sense. Because there's going to be more enemy armor.
We still do have the advantage of our barrel being able to shoot down and uphill is like a lot easier.
We do have the advantage, but at the same time, since they increase the damage of anyone else, I don't know what the ramification is. I don't know if that means we have one less shot to kill.
Yes, it does. 2 rockets, 1 shot.
Wait, 2 rockets, or do you mean the
2 rockets or 1 shot from a tank. It's pretty much equivalent, the buff they gave it.
Okay. Forsaken, I wouldn't actually type in /. It's actually slash voice.
That was my mistake.
Sorry. But in terms of other things, like from what else I see, I got everything up to February, so I will be looking into the March changes and everything else that will change the game. You know that orbital strikes will be coming back in. It's not about the matter of if they will, it's a matter of when they will. So I've already laid out my thoughts about it on the forums. It's going to be plentiful. Essentially it will be plentiful. Everyone will have access to it, if more or less. And it's basically just assume that any enemy platoon is going to have one at least.